It's like, wow, this is for the dumb people in the audience who are upset that he let someone die.
That's me.
And I was like, I don't know anybody like that.
Hey, Internet! It's Paul, it's Matt! The Dork Lords, we are here talking about Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, Season 1, Episode 7, The Serene Squall. We open with a personal log from T'Pring, wondering aloud about Spock's desire to explore his human side. Then we have a video chat in which she recounts a series of books she's read on human sexuality, leaving Spock somewhat uncomfortable. But notably, for the episode, we are told T'Pring works at the Vulcan Criminal Rehabilitation Center. Important. Okay.
I mean, we knew that from before. It's not like it's news.
Oh, was it not news? That was news to me. That's on me. We end with Angel getting away, Spock reassuring T'Pring that his kiss with Chapel was a ruse, and then he checks in with Chapel to make sure they're still friends, and we get the reveal that Angel's true love, who they're trying to free, is Sybok. Star Trek V callback. Paul!
That's right.
What did you think of Episode 7?
I enjoyed it. I did. Even it was interesting that you had a mixture of tones and styles in that.
Definitely. When the Pike starts to get tortured, they're like punching him for the codes. I was is this going in a, there are 4 lights? But no, it was not. There are 4 lights. Once he then goes like, hey, your food's terrible. I'll cook for you.
Yes.
You're like, oh, okay. All right. So that kind of set, I get it.
Yes, that set the tone.
Lower stakes here. These are medium rare steaks, so to speak.
Yes.
So yeah, that was a very humorous angle. The way that they end up making the crew mutiny is played for laughs, that whole bit.
Yes.
But then on the other hand, you've got that trope. We talked about the different tropes that this show has successfully pulled off. And the trope of, like, enemies take over the ship. That's a big one. And that's always serious because the Enterprise is at stake, right? Oh, okay. So, yeah, you're right. They balanced the tones, I thought, pretty damn well in the course of an hour. You know? Yeah.
I would say, yeah.
So kudos to them for that. Oh.
One thing, though, I did occur to me is, I'd love to hear a conversation with the showrunners about exactly how they imagine these 7 years basically that they might have to play with these themes or these characters before they're supposed to pick up again in the original series. I rewatched the episode where Nurse Chapel, the original series, where she confesses her love for Spock. Okay. It's the one where everybody goes crazy from touching each other.
Oh, sure. Like they do that little, like, oh, my hands. Okay, yeah.
Yes. You have some lotion? Yeah. So in there, like Spock walks into the medical bay, and he's like, "Nurse." Is that what he says? He says, "Nurse." So it's like, I mean, I'm fine with the ways that this is breaking canon.
Okay.
But it's like they're both by now, after everything they've gone through, he's going to come in, nurse.
So in other words, you're saying it's not so requited in the original series. It's like, it's kind of, for Spock, he's just like that. He seems oblivious to it. In other words, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, well, they don't appear to be friends at all. He doesn't appear to be, he wouldn't be coming in at this point and saying, "Nurse, could you help me, please? Oh, Mr. Spock, do you know I love you?" No. So
yeah, I mean, I'm forgetting that scene myself, so it's good that you went back and watched it. So I got you. So the way that we've set the relationship now doesn't really track with the state of affairs 7 years from now, what you're saying?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, so, and she practically tells Spock that, hey, I like Vulcans, but, I know you would never pursue someone who was, when you had a girlfriend.
Right.
Of course, if that ever changed at all. But, no.
That's right. That's, yeah. So, yeah. Plus, obviously, as we've mentioned before, the relationship with T'Pring It's a through line in this season, which is interesting because they are spending time on like if it's evolving. They're showing how it's changing over time a little bit, and yet we know it's doomed. So it's interesting that they're pointing that out.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like there's plenty of time there for him to really start to be involved and to be distant, and for her to be like, you know what?
Yeah, we're done.
This isn't working for me. But in terms of her expressing to him, though, how important their connection is, though, it should not have been a surprise for him, after like, oh, okay, I'm going to get married now that, the biological urges have kicked in.
Right.
So only now am I forced to get married. It'll be interesting to see what they do there. I don't mind personally. I'm fine with them breaking canon, but I know that it's important to many people. So
I got you. I think when it comes to this relationship they've got between Chapel and Spock, I'm good with that. Yeah, I agree. As far as canon,
I mean, in terms of the character on the show, she had a relationship where you saw, like, oh, here's my fiance. Oh, we thought he was lost. Oh, he's a robot now. Spoilers. Haha. Oh, for her to meet some guy. Presumably, while she's on the ship on this show, that'd be interesting.
Yep.
Somebody who eventually will be a robot. So, I'm down for that. I'm down for that cause.
So here in this episode, we get kind of the theme of duplicity, right? So Angel manipulates the crew by pretending to be Counselor Aspen. Spock pretends to choose Chapel over to Pring.
He lies, you mean? I think you mean he lies. He lies. Both of them lying. No, you lied.
And then Pike manipulates the pirate crew to mutiny.
Yes.
So we do have that theme is kind of played out in a few different ways.
You're right.
So Angel, the character, uses the they, them pronouns.
Yeah, the character is non-binary and the actor is trans.
Okay. And Angel makes kind of an interesting point about how, in a way, Spock is non-binary. But when it comes to he's not Vulcan, he's not human, he's something else.
No.
And I thought that was kind of a cool analogy.
Yeah, I've heard some people talk about how, sort of in terms of the show, how that's sort of resolved that duality in terms of, well, he's Spock, and sure, but I think he's not alone in being among some
That's a great point.
Vulcan human hybrids.
Right.
They're not all Spock.
So we've got this, Cybok, obviously, Star Trek V, one of the odd numbered movies, which had the odd numbered reputation. But do we think that, because Angel gets away, so
yes,
do we get the idea that,
I mean, we certainly expect we're going to see them again.
right, that's what I'm asking. So are we going to see Angel and Cybok season 1? Is it, we only got a few episodes left.
Oh, yeah, I mean, maybe not.
Okay.
In fact, I'd say I hope not, but you never know.
Yeah. That sounds like that does sound like a plot for later.
I would rather it be something else that we'd see again, not so late in the season. I'd be curious, for the last number of episodes, are they going to try to have a continuing story in that one beyond just what's going on with the characters? Or will they just sort of slowly have more, character moments with the characters we've seen that'll take us to some sort of, interesting place where they'll be at the end of the season.
Yeah. They're planting little seeds for if they want to bring them back. The Gorn, for instance, or somebody they can bring back if they want at some point. I think the same thing with Angel and Cybok. That is a storyline that they can bring back as needed. If this was happening like episode 3 or something, I might think maybe that's an end of season. But since this is episode 7, there's only 3 left, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see them again. This season. Small gripe, but it bothered me, so I'll mention it.
Oh, all right. Let's hear it.
When Chapel is giving relationship advice to Spock, she says, "Pro tip." I'm like, it takes me out of it for a second. Like I had a little shades of Discovery there, where it's like take popular modern slang and then say, oh, it's still popular hundreds of years from now in space. Pro tip, whatever. Totes my goats, FML. I'm like, it just, I don't know.
I don't know. It's not a series where we see a lot of futuristic jargon. They don't make any effort at all to create new. They don't even like Battlestar Galactica coming up with frack. I mean,
Right.
They don't come up with a lot of things that they're expecting you to sort of remember as the future. All the time, the course of every single show, they've used,
there are
words that at our audience would understand.
And some of it kind of washes over me easier than others. Pro tip kind of stuck out. It was like colloquial expression. I don't know. You could do that. That thing they used to do. A lot of times the original series, like they would say something like, "There's an old Earth saying." And then you throw it in, and then you're like, "Oh, see, it totally works in canon." But anyway, as I say, it was a small thing. It jars me a little bit when I hear like something thrown out.
That is a very small quibble, so there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I really liked when Spock and T'Pring were at the, after their ruse succeeded.
Yep.
You really got the sense like she's afraid of anybody, of anybody having that connection with him. She does think that he could have that type of relationship. But she's not stating it. She is afraid of it.
Yeah, she's obviously good at hiding her emotions to some degree.
Yes. Yeah, and you could tell him, he was sort of like, huh. Right. He should have been like, boy, that was really hard. How I told you I can't lie, But there I had to lie, didn't I?
Yeah.
I had to lie.
Pretty much.
I had to lie and say that I had feelings for her.
Pretty much pulled it off, didn't I? Yeah. It was a pretty passionate kiss.
And that kissing scene, that kissing scene was sort of like I didn't know if the director told him, this one has to be passionate, right? You can't pull any of that Vulcan kissing over here.
So Spock and T'Pring pretend to call off their engagement, and that removes the hold the Angel had over T'Pring.
Yes.
But it is kind of okay, you can kill Spock now. I don't care. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not engaged. Kill the whole crew. I don't care. Whatever.
Yes. Yes.
It reminds me a little bit of, actually a lot, of one of the few odd moments in the otherwise perfect action movie, Die Hard, when so there's the druggy jerk Ellis. He pretends that he invited John McClane to the party, right? And so then he's like, he goes up to Hans and is like, hey, Hans, I'll work this out for you. And so Hans essentially pulls an Angel and says, give me the detonators or I'll kill your friend. And then John, John's like, tell him you don't know me. I gotta say this, as much as I'm about to say, I wasn't so fond of this choice. I love the line, what is it? What am I, a method actor, Hans? That's a brilliant line.
All right, anyway, so what's your beef? That if you were Hans, you would have been like, wait a minute, if I just torture this guy, he will clearly tell me.
No, well,
is that your beef?
No, my beef is, why is it okay to just let him die because you don't know him? Whether it's John's wife or a jerky businessman, it's still a person you're killing. I'll kill this person unless you give me the detonators. Do I know this person? No? Kill him. That's fine. Yeah, I don't care. Great.
Yeah, it's funny. When later on, the captain is like, what? Did you see that? He let the guy go. He just let him die. And then the cop has to say, oh, don't you understand? Can't you read between the lines? This is for the dumb people in the audience who are upset that he let someone die.
That's me.
And I was like, I don't know anybody like that. I don't know anybody who doesn't know why he made that choice.
If Hans Gruber just lines up a group of people and is like, I'm just going to kill them all off until you give me the detonators, he doesn't have to know them, right? That's still terrible. You'd still have to consider very strongly to give up those detonators, right? Let me just check the crowd. No? Okay, that's fine. Kill them all. You're like, no.
But apparently, you're like, oh yes, John McClane should value all life equally, even if it's his wife or not his
Maybe.
wife.
I mean, that's kind of what I'm saying here is T'Pring is like, oh, well, if Spock wants to die, then fine. Because we're not engaged anymore, so I have no, that's fine. Kill him off.
Right, and so she can think like, oh, Spock knows something that I don't. He's in that situation, and he's telling me, basically, don't do this. I will do something to make you not do this. And she's like, okay, I'll trust you. I'll play along.
Just saying, you know, I don't know. If I was given that moral situation of like, okay, here's a person, you don't know this person, but I'm going to kill the person unless you do the thing that I want you to do, I think I'd still be like, okay,
Right,
don't
but,
kill that person.
You know, well, yes. Well, you think that would work? I mean, I don't. You're right. I don't know. I can't remember that scene. I don't think he says don't kill him. He just tells the guy, "Don't do this. He will kill you," because he already killed the president.
Yeah.
He already killed the president of the company. You're just gonna have to kill me. He's already seen how that goes out. He doesn't need to do it. And this woman's the same.
I know.
She's gonna kill people.
I didn't mean to.
So T'Pring doesn't need it either.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't
really.
mean to
Now
derail
everybody's
us
gonna be like,
with Die Hard, but
yeah.
okay.
Now this is all the comments we're gonna get.
I was
now
just-
is about Die Hard.
I was just saying, like that's a trope as well, which is like the hey, we found someone meaningful
course.
to you.
It is.
And then if you can pretend the person's not meaningful to you, then that's fine. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, I'm off of that. Yes, exactly. It's exactly the way I would have reacted. Yes. So yeah, so very cool. We got the space pirates. We've got you know, Pike does a little yar.
Yeah, he does a little dad joke at the end.
Yep. So they're
That is unbearable to Una.
right.
Please stop. Please stop.
Yeah, so a successful episode.
Yes.
Probably not my favorite episode of the season, but certainly quality and certainly a good one, and it keeps
Sure.
that level up. So seven episodes in, they're doing great. So good on you,
Yep.
Star Trek: Strange
Yep.
New Worlds.
Yep, good on you there.
Yeah, we'll be back talking about episode 8, which, as I mentioned, looks like they keep this humor going because I don't know if you saw the trailer for episode 8.
Oh, yes, I
Yeah,
did.
so
I did, yes.
it's over the top.
Very many, yes, costumes.
Yep. I'm like, they don't have a holodeck, do they? No, they don't. Okay.
No.
So it's the holodeck episode minus a holodeck. So we'll see how that goes.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway, we'll be back talking about that. And of course, the finale of Obi-Wan Kenobi. So
Yes.
come on back for that. Thanks as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir.
Sure, of course.
And we'll talk to everybody next time. Bye.
Bye.